Hello everyone and welcome to yet another recreational programming session with Mr. Zozin. Don't mind me, right before starting the session I actually spilled tea all over the place, so I'm going to be wiping out different things. So I have this library that I developed some time ago. When did I develop it? Okay, so the last change was 5 months ago, but I think I started like 3 years ago. Yeah, so I think the recent, the most earliest changes are like 3 years ago. So, and it's a very simple library, right? It doesn't do anything particularly special. Well, I mean, actually it does something particularly special, right? So it basically implements software renderer for this kind of shit, right? So, and it doesn't use any hardware acceleration. 3D, by the way, doesn't use any hardware acceleration and draws all of that stuff pixel by pixel. So this is what this library is all about. Right. This is what this library all about. So I don't know why I keep saying that it doesn't do anything special, but I mean, I don't know, right? So it is kind of simple. Once you understand how all of the math works, it doesn't feel that special, but I guess for people who don't know how such math works, it does look pretty impressive, especially considering it doesn't use OpenGL, it doesn't use any shaders or anything like that. Literally, we just like render all of that stuff pixel by pixel. So, and it is using a no-build build system. If you don't know the philosophy of no-build build system, I really recommend you to check out this page, which is Nob.h. And it has this propaganda material. Propaganda material that actually explains you what is no-build philosophy, right? So it's an idea that you don't use any external build system, at least for C projects. And what you do, you have your build written in C. That way, to build your entire project, you only need a C compiler and nothing else, right? So because in case of things like CMake, you need at least CMake, and CMake generates makefile or ninja script, so that means on top of that you need makefiles. And what's interesting is that there's no makefiles on Windows, so in that case you need to use like a Microsoft Visual Studio or something like that. So it's all like a pile of like this junky, fragile parts that can like fall over at any point. So what if the only thing you needed to build a C project was a C compiler? So what I did, I created a special header library, and you build your build recipes literally in C. So let's take a look at how this entire thing works, right? So I'm gonna clone this project. I think I already have it cloned, honestly. So do I have, yeah, I do have it cloned in fact. So maybe I can fetch the latest changes. Do I need to fetch the latest changes? So yeah, I do. Okay, so let's merge origin master. Okay, so everything's fine. I already have the build system bootstrapped, but here is the idea. The build recipe is written in this file, nobuild.c, and the library that facilitates all of that is nobuild.h. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to bootstrap nobuild.c like this. There we go. So then I just run nobuild once, and what it does, it literally starts building everything. It starts building tests, it starts building demo, and so on and so forth. And I never really installed anything except the C compiler. Right, it didn't use anything except C compiler, and any additional tools were also written in C. So this what this build system did, for example, we have a special tool called obj2c, which takes a 3D object in OBJ format and converts it into C code, so you can actually link it with your example and stuff like that. It was also written in C. Our build system builds that tool and runs that tool, so it basically starts to, assemble your project. The only thing you did, you only bootstrapped the build system with a single C compile line, right? And then everything else was taken care of by the program itself, right? So, and what's interesting is that the advantage of this approach is that the build system never really gets outdated. So the problem with CMake, and especially auto tools, anybody who maintains a package for Linux or anything like that knows that like if you have an old code base and you try to use newer auto tools on the older code base, you will fail. You need to use a very specific version of auto tools to actually build things. Right. So, and at some point, like if the code base is too old, it becomes unbuildable. You literally need to find older versions of AutoTools, which you also need to fucking build with correct versions of AutoTools, and it becomes a fucking nightmare. It becomes unbuildable. In our case, you copy paste the source code of the build system into your project, and it doesn't matter how much time passes. The entirety of the source code is there with you. You just build it, and you can build your project. And we actually witnessed that right in front of our eyes, because this specific version of the build system is outdated and obsolete. I do not maintain this version of the build system anymore, right? So here's the repo of this thing, and it's called previous generation of nobuild idea. It is archived, it is not maintained anymore. You can find it in here if you need it, but I don't use it anymore. I still can build my project that uses that build system. Think about it. This is just a hard proof that this approach works. I don't maintain it, I don't use it anymore. The project is still buildable. It's gonna be buildable in 5 years, it's gonna be buildable in 10 years. It doesn't fucking matter. That's the beauty of this approach. So, and the reason it is deprecated is because I really didn't like the way I approached the API and implementation of this idea. So what I did, I gathered like all of the experience I've got after using this build tool and created Nob.h, which is the next generation of the nobuild idea. It's the same idea, it's that the API and implementation is different. It's more flexible, so it gives you more control over how you can write your scripts and stuff like that. You can actually find it in here. And guess what we're going to be doing today? Guess what we're going to be doing today? We're going to be porting the build system of this entire project from older nobuild to the newer Nob.h. Sounds good? Sounds Gucci? Sounds Tamaguchi? Let's fucking go. So, and I think it will give us an opportunity to maybe compare these two build tools and stuff like that. I think it's going to be kind of interesting. So let's fucking go. So here is the, so how are we going to approach that? So first of all, I think I want to download the latest Nob.h, right? So which we're going to use instead of nobuild.h. Another advantage of this library is that it has a shorter name, right? It has a shorter name, which means that I can use it as a prefix throughout the library. So one of the problems with nobuild I had is that nobuild is a very long word. It is a very long word, and because of that, it's not really usable for prefixes, and because of that, I never really added as a prefix, and that kind of increased the probability of having a collision with the name with your functions and stuff like that, which is not really good, right? So C doesn't have any name spacing or anything like that. Because of that, it is better to have some sort of a prefix, otherwise you're gonna end up with something like Raylib. So can't wait for NB aka nobuild version 3. We'll see, we'll see. I have no plans to actually completely rewrite Nob, the second version from scratch. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. So far, I'm actually more or less satisfied with how Nob.h works. So I don't have any problems with all that. So it's much shorter. Like if you don't have prefix, as I already said, you're gonna end up with something like Raylib. And if you ever try to use Raylib on Windows along with Windows header, Windows.h, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, because both Windows API and Raylib squat such a common names. Like what kind of names do they squat? Like I think like a literally name Red. It's like taken by both of them. It's just like, it's insane. Like it's very, very common words that you use, rectangle or something like that. So it's just like, yeah, it's a nightmare. And if you want to use like Windows.h with Raylib, you have to really like put all of that code to a separate translation unit that doesn't use anything from Raylib, compile it separately, and then link it back. So it's a freaking nightmare. But I mean, this is a nightmare that is kind of imposed by the C compiler itself. But on the other hand, C compiler was developed half of a century ago, where the programs were simpler. They didn't need name spacing, right? So, anyways. Vector 2, I think, yeah, I think Vector 2 is also like collides a lot. So anyways, let's actually download Nob.h, wget. I'm gonna put this stuff in here and let's fucking go. So here's the Nob.h. And what I'm thinking, I'm gonna actually copy paste Nob.build into Nob.c, right? And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna just like include Nob.h like this. Right, and then obviously I want to say Nob implementation to enable all of the implementation of Nob.h, because if you don't do that, it's not going to include any implementations, right? You guys know the drill, right? So it's a STB style library. If you don't do that, you're not going to get any implementations. So one of the things I think introduced recently, well, not recently, is delete old. Right, so we had a conversation about that. One of the things about nobuild scripts. So what did we do the last time? I don't quite remember. I think Nob.h. Is that if you like build nob.c for the first time, okay, so you build it, everything's fine, it runs the tests, and then you modify nob.c, right? So I'm gonna actually save it and just try to modify it. It rebuilds itself. Right, but it also actually preserves the older version. So, and it's kind of annoying, right? And I can actually delete it. But I'm not sure how it's gonna work on other platforms like Windows and macOS and stuff like that, because I'm too lazy to test them. So what I created recently, I created a special feature flag. I think I don't even have it in here in the latest Nob. So let me actually fetch and merge the entire stuff. Right, so and if I take a look at the changelog, so there's a new flag in here, Nob experimental delete old, and what it does, it just like deletes it when, you know, when it's not needed anymore. So now if I do modifications to this entire stuff, right, and I rebuild the whole thing, well, I probably have to do that several times to actually make the changes apply. Right, so let's try to run it one more time. So as you can see, it renamed the current Nob to Nob old, then it compiled a new one, and then it deleted the old one and ran the new one. So people program on Windows, I know, right? So it's so bizarre, but people still do that. I thought Windows is only for playing video games, but apparently people program on Windows. Oh, I know. It's probably the game developers, because why otherwise you would write anything for operating system for video games? Like, I don't really understand. So yeah, if you're using Windows, you're probably a gamer or a game developer, right? So because there's a market for that. So for anything serious, Linux, macOS, right, anything but operating system for video games. So anyways, right, so I enabled that. So I think I'm gonna start actually enable it for everything and just see how it goes. Where is my olive.c? So here it is. Right, so delete. So I'm going to actually put it in here. So I'm enabling features. And also, I also want to strip the prefixes. Strip prefixes. So I suppose it's becoming a theme of Nob, is that before including Nob, you actually kind of configure it. Right, to your needs, like different, you know, experimental features and stuff like that, so different flags. But I mean, I suppose it's also common for STB libraries as well. So it's nothing particularly new. Okay, so we have a copy of the previous version, but with the Nob.h included instead of nobuild. Let's try to maybe compile that and see how fucking miserably this entire scheisse fails. Let's fucking go. I'm gonna do co nob.c, a boom. So we have 335 lines of errors in here. So what's the first? Aha. Make dears. This is a very interesting function from nobuild. It creates folders, believe it or not. So it accepts an array of paths, right? So it basically accepts an array of components of paths, not /separated path, but just an array, because I was too lazy to fucking parse it. So I said to the user, you fucking parse it for me, you provide the full path, and then I will just like create the full path in here. So an analog in Nob is going to be make dir if not exists, right? But it accepts a path that, yeah, just a single path. but it doesn't create all of the chain of parents and stuff like that. I think I haven't implemented that. All right, so we learned something today. So we learned that Nob doesn't implement some of the functionality of nobuild, but right now we can put some sort of a hack in here, right? So we can put some sort of a hack in here. So we can basically create these folders separately. That's one of the things we can do. We can essentially say, okay, so create this folder, build, and within this folder, create build tools, right? So this is how we're going to replace this intense stuff. This is how we're replacing. But what's interesting is that these operations may fail. The previous version, nobuild.h, when it fails, it would literally crash your entire build script, like straight up crash without giving you an opportunity to even handle that crash or anything like that. And that was one of the problems that I had with the previous version, is that, okay, it's kind of cool that you failed, but sometimes there are some situations when I actually do want to handle that. So, and the new approach in Nob is that actually don't fail, return always Boolean that indicates whether you failed or not. And it's now up to you to handle or not to handle that Boolean. So usually what I do, I just check, okay, so this operation failed, I short circuit and return false like right away. We're inside of some sort of a function, so it's a build tools. I suppose now this function is supposed to return Boolean, and whoever calls that function, I think it's called only once, actually twice, look at that, it's called twice. Whoever calls that function now has to check if it fails, so we are in the main function, I suppose we have to return a non-zero exit code. So this is how we're going to be working from now on. Right, so now we are kind of like unwinding the stack ourselves, not crashing right away. So, and it's honestly like a better approach because it gives you more flexibility, right? Sometimes like you want to let things fail because you want to maybe then if it fails, try something else, right? So in the previous version of nobuild, I couldn't easily do that. So that's an issue that kind of got fixed. So that's much better. So let's continue. So here is another thing, and I'm going to put this stuff in here. So this is going to be false. All right, so, and I can already see the next problem. So here we try to call a separate command. Here we try to call the separate command. So let's try to build and make sure that everything builds up until that point. Okay, so that's totally nice. So in the previous version, what you would do, you would have a macro, a very simple macro, which is variadic, and you would put your command line in here, right? You would just put this command line in here and it would execute it. And if it fails, it again crashes the entirety of your build script without giving you an opportunity to handle that crash or anything. Again, it's kind of cool, but I mean, it's just like sometimes you want to handle this kind of stuff. And another problem with this kind of approach of this single macro is that sometimes you don't know at compile time the entirety of your command line. You know what I'm talking, chat? Sometimes maybe you need to iterate an array and generate command dynamically. So how it is usually solved in, for example, languages like Go. I think in Go there is this kind of thing that allows you to run external commands. You have some sort of a dynamic array where you accumulate the components of the command that you want to execute, and then you execute this entire thing. So that's how it usually goes. Right, so in the newer version of Nob, now we have a thing like CMD. I think it's called Nob.cmd because it's prefixed. Yeah, there we go. And it's a dynamic array. Right, so what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to create a dynamic array. Let's put it on a stack. And then there is a special macro cmd append, right? And then you provide the array into which you want to append the thing. And you just append each and individual command like that. Right, so I append this thing, now I have to append common flags. Right, so, and it's kind of tedious to append each and individual thing like one by one because the commands might be long. Like for example, I don't want to append the entirety of this common C flags or anything like that. Because of that, I made the command append actually variadic. Right, so you can actually supply several things and it will like append them separately. It will just append them separately. So what that means, I can actually just take this entire thing and append it at once, right? I can just append it at once. Pretty cool. So after that, I can execute this entire thing. So I can do cmd run. You can actually run this thing in different fashion, right? So you can run it synchronously. So that means if you run this entire command like so, it will block, right? Obviously, it also returns a Boolean indicating whether it fails or not. So you have to check for that and return false if it in fact failed. You can run it asynchronously. In that case, it will return you PID process ID on which you have to wait. It's really convenient to actually run several commands asynchronously and then wait on all of them simultaneously. We're not going to be doing that right now, but we're going to be doing sync. Right, and there we go. So now this entire thing got replaced by these three things, right? Which is kind of rather inconvenient, right? Maybe, but it gives you more control, right? So because it's more flexible, you can just like append this kind of stuff in a loop. You maybe pass this kind of thing to append it like in a different function and so on and so forth, right? So we sacrifice, you know, conciseness with a little bit of a flexibility. So another problem with this kind of thing is that async doesn't really clean up the CMD. It just runs it and leave it as it is. So what you have to do, you have to, you know, reset the entirety of the array. Or we created like a convenient function that does that for you. You have to pass it by a pointer. So it will just run synchronously, block, and then it will clean up arrays. So then you can append this thing again. So you can reuse the same array over and over again and run it again. So that's what you can do. That's what you can do. So what's interesting is that after all of that, right, obviously you have to return true or something like that, you will still have a little bit of a memory allocated in the CMD, because the way dynamic arrays work is that you push into them, they allocate more memory than they actually need. They always allocate more memory than they actually need. They append into that memory until you like exhaust all of that memory and allocate even more, and so on and so forth. All of that is done to reduce the amount of memory allocations, because it is a quite an expensive operation, right? It's quite an expensive operation. You don't want to do that on each individual append. When you reset the array, all of that allocated memory still stays there, ready to be filled in with new stuff. So if you don't free that memory, this entire thing is gonna basically leak the memory allocated by that CMD. We can try to free it, right? So I think I literally have CMD free, or the way I usually do that, I just like remove responsibility of build tool to manage any memory at all. So essentially what I say, I'm gonna pass that CMD as a parameter, and whoever calls that, it's now your responsibility to fucking manage this entire thing. That way, by the way, I can only create one CMD for the entirety of the build script, and it's gonna be reused by all of the functions that wanna run command line. It's gonna be reused by all of them, and they're never gonna have to actually free anything. It's just like one single CMD array, and it's constantly appended and reset, appended and reset. So it acts like sort of like an arena for running commands. And it's rather convenient, right? So like you don't have to manage memory. You could if you want to, but you don't have to. So, and then the problem that I have with nobuild is that it was designed so you leak as much memory as possible and never free, because your build script is going to be is going to die anyway, and all of the memory is going to be deallocated by the operating system. But then I got a problem that, like, what if I have long-running scripts that actually leak shit ton of memory? So I want to be able to clean up all of that stuff once in a while. So I still need to think about the memory. So what I decided to do with Nob is that I give you like a way to control the memory, but if you don't want to, you don't have to, right? So that's basically like a different form from nobuild. No GC in the build script SMH. I mean, you can just like not free the memory. So like, who needs garbage collector if you just like don't give a shit about garbage? Like, just don't give a shit about it if you don't want to, right? So if like consuming memory, like is consuming too much memory during build is that big of a problem? I think it kind of became a problem for the decompiler. I think it became a problem for the decompiler. I remember that the creator of D actually complained, not even him, but the people who helped him to maintain the compiler complained that because the compiler allocates a lot of memory and never frees it, because I mean it's a batch program, it's going to deallocate at the end of it. So their builds started to consume way too much memory for their CI, so they started to work actively on actually trying to fix that somehow. Right, so apparently it can become a problem if you don't care about it long enough. Right, it can become a problem, sort of. But anyway, so we call this function into places. So, and both of the places are in the main. I suppose what we can do in here, we can just allocate the CMD in here, like so. And when I call build tool, we just pass this entire stuff as a parameter. Just pass it as a parameter. So that's basically the new version of the function. So let's fucking go. Next problem. Oof, it failed inside of the DI append. Okay, so if we go up in the stack trace, sort of a compile time stack trace. Aha, so this is a pointer, and I'm taking a pointer of a pointer, and okay, so what we have to do in here now, we have to not reference this entire stuff anymore. So that was the problem in here. Okay, so nob.cmd run. So what you don't like in here, implicit declaration. Is that because there's no nob? I think it's just cmd run and reset. Is that what you're telling me, bro? Am I going insane? Because this is a thing that cmd run sync. Ah, I forgot that you have end in here. End reset. Forgot the end. Happens, mine for the happen. Okay, so we have a kind of a similar situation in here. Yeah, it's literally a similar situation. We need an LLM in here to automatically fix all that stuff. I'm actually curious. So we actually have two versions in here. So let's actually go into LLM, right? Duck AI. Will LLM actually understand how to properly do that? Use regex. Okay. So I think I have to write a prompt. This is the thing that turns me away from using AI for coding, is that like now I have to take my entire mental model, put it into human readable words, and then feed it into the AI. For that AI to fucking understand. It will then spit out its words. I need to parse those words and integrate them into my mental model. And it's so fucking slow and frustrating. It's just like, bro, like, why do I have to do that? It's annoying. Right, so I have to say, I'm migrating from nobuild. Like, why do I have to explain that shit? I already have that in my head. Like, how people work with these tools. Like, I genuinely do not understand. You probably, if you like find them useful, you're probably doing something simplistic that doesn't require building a complicated mental model of things. It's just like, bro, like how people even do that? So I've never used cursor, by the way. Maybe I should give it a try. This is what your manager thinks when he explains a task to you. Oh, okay, so that explains. Okay, I'm migrating from nobuild to Nob. So here is a snippet in nobuild, right? So I think I don't have to explain it too much. Build nobuild.c. All right. So here is the snippet in here, and here it is in Nob, right? So something like that. So where's Nob.c? All right. So we're gonna put that stuff in here. Now translate this. And I'm pretty sure it will be to do that, right? So they're pretty like a very common. So this is basically, this is one shot, right? So this is one shot. Because it doesn't really know what is Nob or what Nob. We kind of have to give it examples. So what model are we going to be using? We have O3 mini club. We don't really have like a very cool models, I suppose, right? So all of the stinky ass models, right? So can you do that? Okay, translate it, please. All right, so yeah, exactly. So once it has an example on how to do that, right? So it does that pretty well. I wonder if we can continue feeding it, right? So, and what's funny is that, did it make any mistake in here? Did it make any mistake in here? You're gonna ruin its memory. Stop. What you guys talking about? What you guys talking about? Stop. You're gonna ruin it. What? Holy AGI. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we got it. But like, I'm now very anxious. Like, I hope it didn't make any mistake. Like, I suppose it understood it really well, like, on how to do that. All right. So it probably won't be able to translate this kind of stuff. Okay, so now I can easily give it. Okay, so here is another snippet, motherfucker. Here is another snippet. Are you gonna translate it? Boom. This one is very easy. I could have done it myself. Yeah, there we go. So, who needs programmers, chat? Who needs programmers? Look how easy it is. Programmers got replaced. Programmers got replaced. Very fucking easy. Anyway, so this one is interesting. So copy file, an ability to copy files. Nobuild didn't have an ability to copy files. Nob actually does, right? So if I take a look at this kind of stuff, so copy file. So it straight up does have it. So what I can do here is just remove the entirety of the source code. Can your AI do that? Can your fucking AI do that? It probably can. If it had a context about Nob.h a little bit more, right? Maybe it will be able to remove the code. But can AI even remove the code? I think it can remove the code. It makes it easy to generate shit ton of code. But what about removing the code? I should try cursor, right? So people keep talking about the cursor. Feed him Nob.h and try it. Will it fit in there? How big of a context do we have? How big of a context do we have? So I'm just afraid that maybe it's not going to fit in here. So they're pretty rather big, but maybe not. So it's like 3,000 lines of code. Will it be able to handle all that? I don't fucking know. Just use the header part, not implementation. But I mean, like, implementation also contains a little bit of information, right? So that could be used to make a right decision. So anyways, let's fucking continue. So build was a demo. So if I try to build this entire stuff, right? So hopefully it will build. So what do we have in here? PID. Okay. So this one is rather interesting because this one, we're building it not synchronously. We're building it not synchronously, but rather asynchronously. So we're returning PID in here. So Nob.h, as far as I know, PID, Nob, it's called prog, by the way. It's a process. We can just try to put proc in here, but I feel like I don't wanna do this way. What I'm thinking would be better if we actually utilized procs array, right? So we have a dynamic array of procs. And the way you're supposed to use it is that when you create an asynchronous process, you have to put its proc into this array. Once you accumulated all of the asynchronous processes, you give it into the nob procs wait, and it will wait on all of them until all of them have finished, right? So it acts like a barrier for all of the asynchronous processes, which enables you to build things in parallel. It enables you to build things in parallel. Right, so, and in here we just return it, but I kind of want to actually accept something like pointer to the procs, and what you're supposed to do is just append that thing in there, and whoever calls this function, it will give you pointer to this array, and then just like accumulate and stuff like that. So how do we even use this thing? So it is called, yeah, as you can see, we even use this entire sort of approach in here, right? So we accept the dynamic array of PIDs, it's from the previous version, and we just like append those things like that. So yes, I think I'm gonna go that route. Emacs is incapable of returning to the previous location. It's rather frustrating. But anyways, right, so this is gonna be the void. So here is the thing. All right, so here is the thing that we need to append into the CMD, which means that we also have to accept CMD. Right, so we have to accept the CMD and the procs. All right, so let's grab this entire stuff, and I'm gonna do CMD append CMD, and just gonna put it in here. Where's the clang? Boom. So, but there's a little bit of a problem in here. It uses concat macro, and what concat macro does, it just concatenates this entire scheisse. We don't have it in the new version of nobuild. Like, you can't concatenate strings in there, but in Nob.h we have tmp sprintf. So you can basically have sprintf that automatically allocates memory in a temporary buffer that you can then periodically reset. The classical temporary allocator and stuff like that. So you can actually allocate like small little strings in there, and this is what is recommended to use instead of concatenation, right? This is what's recommended. It's not really arena, honestly. It is not really arena. So if you take a look at this kind of stuff, it depends on the definition of arena. Like, every time we start talking about arenas, it's like OOP. It's like fucking OOP. Nobody knows what is OOP, and if you claim that, everyone, well, obviously OOP is, and everyone says completely different thing and start fighting with each other. No, OOP is that, OOP is that. So it's like with arenas, right? So, like, different people think about arenas like different things, and then they start fighting over like what is actually called arena. Arena is a continuous space. No, it's a linked list of regions. No, it has to be continuous space. Shut the fuck up, everyone. This is arena. So and it's a like basically fixed size limited space, and I'm gonna fucking call it arena. Deal with that. So yeah, exactly. Arena is where programmers fight. It's like such a fucking classical situation. It's just like, and everyone is wasting time, right? It's just like literally the being right in this meta literally doesn't give you anything. It's just like arguing about the meaning of words. Okay, so we decided to label these things like that and these things like that. So what? Did it give anything useful, any value to anybody? Okay, so essentially, this is basically a space in the memory that you can deallocate at once. This is arena. Okay, so, and this is what we can use to, to basically use concatenation, right? So let's take a look at this specific instance of concatenation. So this is going to be temp sprintf, and I suppose, yeah, I'm going to just put this stuff in here, and this thing, so name is a string. So because of that, we're going to do as name. Cool. So concat, and I'm gonna place that scheisse into that place. So and put it like that. There we go. Now this is gonna be temp as printf. So, and this is going to be basically s. So we also put null in here. Right, I hope I didn't have, yeah, I didn't have any nulls in there, but this is because variadics and stuff like that, so we don't really have to do it like that anymore. Okay, that looks cool, and this one has to be named, by the way. I completely forgot to put name in here. So that's very nice. We don't have to do that scheisse anymore. So, and then we have to run it asynchronously. We run it asynchronously, and this operation never fails, by the way. This, well, I mean, it kind of fails. It's rather interesting, actually, because it is expected that the result of this function is going to be immediately appended into the procs array, right? So, and if it fails to start this entire thing, I think, if I remember correctly, it will return you an invalid proc handle, and appending invalid proc handles is allowed into the procs array. What is going to happen is that when you wait on that procs array, it is going to fail. Right, so essentially this thing doesn't fail, but then waiting on the result of this thing will fail. That allows you to put all of the processes into the array at once, and then later you can check it when you put like sort of a barrier if you understand what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, so after that, since we put it into procs, that's basically it, right? So we just like created the command, then we run it and reset it, and we append it into procs, and everything seems to be working, everything seems to be working. So in here, we call this entire thing. So this one has to be procs array, right, which will basically forward, right? So this becomes procs. We also need to accept CMD, right, for the command. So, and for the consistency, actually, we're going to put arguments like that, because here we accept CMD procs, and here we accept CMD procs. So since this thing appends into procs by itself, I'm going to actually remove this entire thing. And all the rest of the functions should kind of become like this as well, right? So they should become like this as well. So what essentially going on in here is that we're trying to build Visual Console demo, and we're building simultaneously all three versions of that demo for WASM, for the terminal, or for SDL. For those who doesn't know, in this library, so we have demos that demonstrate how this library works, and the library can output things in whatever, right? So it can output into the canvas, HTML5 canvas, it can output into the terminal, it can output into the surface of SDL, and we're just building all of these three examples, and we're building them simultaneously, right? So we run these things asynchronously. So that's basically what's going on here. So something like that. And where do we call this entire thing? Where do we call this entire thing? We actually call it somewhere here. Oh yeah, so basically build all demos. Build all demos. So this one is rather interesting. So here is the processes. For each name, we run all of these things simultaneously. Oh, and you can actually customize with how many threads you can do that. Damn, bro. Okay. So, all right. So okay. So if it... That's so fucking cool. So I have an array, I append processes into that, and as soon as the amount of processes in that bucket becomes greater than the thread counts, I apply weight on them, reset the whole thing, and start again. Did I fucking write that? What the fuck? Bro, I just implemented make G6 or something. I implemented -G flag, what the fuck? Am I that unhinged? Like, this happens every time when I look at my old code and I'm thinking to myself, am I that unhinged? Why the fuck did I implement that? What the fuck is wrong with me? Like why does it have to, why does the code has to go so fucking hard? Like, it didn't have to go this hard. Okay, so fair enough. Anyways, so let's take a look at the subs. Nobody subscribed. Seriously, you're gonna let Jeffrey Bezos starve without this sweet Twitch money? SMH my age. Anyway, so maybe just a second. Let me refresh everything. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. So I think I'm gonna try to rebuild it one more time, right? So it complains about di append, so that means I again did a focky wacky and oopsie doopsie over. So in here, so what does it complain about? So here's the procs, and di append, it didn't like something in here because I don't quite get it. So forgot a semicolon. Ah. Chat, shut up. I didn't spend 3 hours. I found it quickly. I found it very quickly. 3 hours later. Yeah, exactly. I found it very quickly. So the compiler actually helped. Okay, so we have the similar situation in here. Similar situation. So this is gonna be void CMD. CMD is not procs, and in here let's actually quickly do why didn't I? Okay, CMD append CMD. All right. Can I use a little bit of an Emacs magic to actually replace all of these concat motherfuckers? Right, so we're gonna do something like this. Okay, so we selected all of this. TMP as printf. Okay, that's pretty cool. Taking the name, replacing the name with just $s. Right, and then in here I put a name in here. Who needs LLM? Look at that. Oh, the only thing you need is multi-cursors. Multi-cursors. That's the only thing you need. Trust me. That's the only thing you need. Okay, and after that we can just like copy paste this entire stuff, and we're Gucci. We are Tamaguchi. I think I forgot a comma. Okay, so that's pretty cool. The next one. Same shit. Same motherfucking shit. Can I do a copy pasting like that? And I'm gonna put it in here. Cool. So now I'm gonna select this entire thing, cmd append, concat, same shit, using Emacs magic, temp as printf, boom, removing the name, replacing this entire shit with $s, and then put name, boom. Don't forget the semicolon, remove all of that stuff, copy paste this stuff, and we're Gucci, we are Tamaguchi. Let's fucking go. What else do we have in here, chat? Did I forget semicolon again? So let's go up the stack trace. Yeah, I forgot the CMD. Cool. So what's interesting about the modern C compilers and macro errors is that the macro errors are kind of scary sometimes, but the compiler usually gives you sort of like a stack trace, compile time stack trace that you can go up and kind of figure out where exactly the problem happened. For example, let's remove a semicolon, right? So, and you have this like a macro and it fails inside of a macro and it's kind of like scary, but it gives you the entire sort of stack trace. And we're talking about Clang specifically because I think we're compiling with Clang or maybe with GCC, but I mean, who cares? And through nodes, right? So through nodes, it basically like by going down, you basically going up in the stack, right? So here's where it happened. You can go down. So it expanded into here and then it expanded into here. So it's like a little bit wordy, but you still can kind of figure it out. So I'm not sure about the older C compilers. Maybe in older C compilers, this kind of stuff was a pain in the ass because the compiler wouldn't tell you the entirety of the path of the macro expansions. But the modern compilers are kind of smart. They can actually do that. So first message, by the way. Very based message. Anyways, oh, okay, so look at that to do. Look at that cute to do. Nobuild is deprecated. I left it to do. Okay, so I came up with this pretty cool system of, you know, a dynamic array of PIDs and waiting on dynamic array of PIDs. I think I should add this to this library, and this library is deprecated. Nobody fucking uses all of that. So I suppose I can just remove this entire shit. Oh my god, look at that. It's an old school photo of the append. It was not even part of the library yet. It didn't even become the part of the library. I put it into a separate program and thought to myself, I need to add that to Nob. All right, that's cool. We don't need any of that scheiße, my friend. So yeah, so we translated this entire part, so including this one, so we'll have to do only this one now. So I watched Mitsatodin build things using his Nob in YouTube videos before. Very cool. As far as I know, Nob is specifically British slang, right? So it's not particularly American. It's a British slang for cock. Anyways, so here we're creating make dirs. Might as well just grab this entire scheiße and just do something like, what was it? It was demos, right? So it was demos. Cool. So here are the names. So here are the names of the demos. Here's the names of the demos. We iterating them. In Nob these days, by the way, we have array length. Look at that. So we factored it out into array length. So now what you can do, like instead of all of that choice and everything, you can do array len names. So that's it. So you don't have to worry about this kind of stuff. In fact, maybe we can even inline this kind of thing. So we use it a couple of times. So that means if I just grab this entire scheiße, copy paste it, select it again, boom, boom, boom. It looks even cooler now, right? So you can clearly see that I'm iterating array names, right? I take array length and so on and so forth. That's pretty cool. So in here, we're supposed to have procs. So and this is going to become procs. So what we're doing in here, we pass pointer to the procs. We also have to pass a pointer to CMD, but we don't have CMD. I think we should accept CMD in here, like this. And where do we call this entire thing? Do we call it in main? We do in fact call it in main. And recently we even allocated that CMD in main, so we can reuse the same CMD. Right, so this is what I'm talking about. To not think about deallocating memory allocated by the dynamic array for the command, I just use a single command for everybody and I just like reset it every time. In fact, I'm starting to think that maybe I should just make that CMD glow. Yeah, okay, so yeah. Thank you so much, chat. It's kind of interesting. It's like I'm trying to structure my speech so the right conclusions come out naturally. And I'm so fucking good at it that chat comes up to them faster than I'm able to say them. And then chat takes all of the credit for all of these conclusions, even though it was actually planned conclusion all along. That happened several times already. So I'm intentionally starting from afar because I'm trying to be educational. I'm not forcing things on you. I'm showing you the entirety of the path. And then you run into the destination as soon as it becomes visible and take all of the credit. Mods, ban the entirety of the chat. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm glad actually that my approach works and you guys are able to predict the natural conclusion where I'm going for. But I don't think I'm gonna do it right now. I think I'm gonna be doing it right now. So I think I'm gonna make it global a little bit later. Because you know why? You know why? Because I'm afraid that what if I start using multi-threading for my builds? On the other hand, why do you need to create threads in your build system if what you do is create separate processes? It's not like you're crunching numbers. Okay, you won. This one I didn't actually anticipate it, right? So I didn't think about thread local, right? Okay. So this conclusion was not planned, by the way. So chat legit won this time. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Chat won. We can always make it thread local. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair. So, all right. So what we were doing? Let's continue compiling. So what do we have in here? Double parenthesis happens. Next one. We're supposed to return Boolean. So if we return Boolean, that means we have to return true in here as an indication that everything went okay. Okay, so I need to replace PIDs with procs. PIDs and procs and PIDs and procs and this one is rather interesting, is that now I have a similar problem. Like I allocated this entire thing in here. That means this function is supposed to deallocate it itself. How about fuck you? I don't want to manage it. You fucking manage it. You call this function, you fucking manage it. So we're going to actually put it on the caller of the function, right? You allocate it somewhere and you manage it. I'm going to be just like only resetting this entire. So here we do procs and wait, right? And in Nob.h, procs wait, and then it resets it. But in Nob, we do have a reset. So we can actually basically compress these two lines into a single one. Look at that. We're not only inflating the code, sometimes we contract it. So how about that? I think that's pretty cool. So we do procs like this, and if it fails, we're supposed to return false right away. So, and the fact that we don't manage memory at all allows us to just return, right, and not worry that something is going to be leaked, because it's like up to the caller to clean all that memory. So that's pretty nice. I really like that. So, and in here we have to wait and reset it yet again, right? So because there could be a remainder of the processes running in here. Okay, so after that, we're iterating through all of the WASM examples and we're copying them into the WASM folder. Okay, so that's kind of funny. We're building WASM examples into the build folder and then we're moving them into WASM probably for the web server, right? Because we need to serve these WASM examples. So how the fuck do I even use my copy function in Nob? So there's a copy file. First one is src, right? So here's the C, and then dst. We don't have concat, so but we can use sprintf, tmp, sprintf, boom. I'm gonna grab the name, replace this entire thing with $s, and then put this thing in here. How about that? How about that? Look at that. But this entire thing may also fail, right? So as you can see, it returns Boolean. So we have to do this check, this short circuiting check. Boom. But it's a little bit too long, so might as well. Well, I mean, I could create like a curly braces, or I could maybe factor out these long ass names into src path and dst path. So this is src path, boom, and then dst path. DST path, const char DST path, boom. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right. So it even became readable. It even became readable. I really like that. So here we have usage. So, but first let's actually try to compile and see if we didn't do any fucky wacky. We did fucky wacky. Fuck you, walk you. So. Yeah, so it's an extra reference. We don't have to have extra reference. So prox count, what you don't like in here? Because it's a pointer. Understandable, perfectly understandable. So info, aha. So it just uses a different logging system. This is not how you log Scheisse in Nob these days. The way you log Scheisse is that you use Nob log, and then you specify the login level like this. So that's how you log Scheisse in here. All right, and we fixed that. Okay, so now Go Rebuild Yourself technology is called Nob Go Rebuild Yourself technology. All right, so, and I think we're almost done. And yeah, okay, so build assets. Now it accepts CMD. If not build assets, return 1. Okay, cool. So the next one, build test. Did I move? Yeah, so it has to be CMD. So all of that stuff is already allocated in here. I suppose we'll probably also need to allocate procs, right? So we need to allocate them in here. And you know what? Like I want to really try to make it global at some point. But first I want to make the entire thing compile, and then I can try to make it global, right? So because I don't want to try to change my course right in the middle of compiler assisted refactoring, right? So first let's actually finish that specific course and then start another one, right? By moving all of these things into like global variables, because maybe this can become a new pattern for Nob, right? So just like creating like a global things, global variables for all of these useful arrays, and just like reusing them over and over again. I think it's a pretty cool pattern. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. He did define, are you guys talking about the Nob log? Don't you need Nob copy log? No, because it's automatically stripped off. So maybe I thought you guys talking about Nob log, right? Because stripping of the prefixes doesn't work for Nob log, right? So if you strip off the prefixes, this is not going to work. You have to provide Nob. Who knows why? I already actually explained that. I actually explained that, and it's explained within the source code as well. Yeah, so you guys know, right? So it's actually fine because it starts to collide. It starts to collide with math function, right? So namelog is already defined in math.h, and historically always was the natural logarithm function. So there should be no reason to strip the Nob prefix in this specific case. There is another one. There is another very annoying one that I completely fucking forgot. It's a Nob rename, right, which renames the file. And in POSIX, there is a C function called rename. And I completely forgot about that. And now I don't know how to fix that, because that will introduce backward incompatible change that may break some of the existing build scripts. So, and it acts kind of similarly, but I mean, it acts differently when it returns the result. So, ran a meet. Anyway, so let's continue. Yeah, let's go to the rest of the compilation errors. CMD line. What the fuck are you doing in here? This is a weird ass code. So first of all, you create your own CMD. We already have it. Ah, yeah. So this was really weird way of appending things. I see what's going on. So basically, you could create subcommands for tests or test, right? I suppose this is for backward compatibility. I just did the rename. Then you can build the tests, which may fail, by the way. Don't you fucking know? It may fail. And if you provided any additional arguments, we just append them, but only if you provided them, right? So if you didn't provide any arguments, we don't even try to run it. That's very interesting. Okay. So essentially, these days, you don't really have to do it manually like that. What you can do, first of all, you can do cmd append, cmd. You can just append the test, the executable that you want to run. Then, if you want to append additional, like the command line arguments that you passed into the command, you can do di append many, and you basically append argv, argc times, right? You provide the pointer to the array and the size of the array, and it will automatically append all of the arguments in there for you. And then here we're just running this entire thing asynchronously, right? So run async, not asynchronously, but synchronously. Reset like this, and if it fails, we just return -1, and we don't need any of that shit anymore. It just becomes simpler. It just becomes simpler. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So, and it just like reads a little bit better. It just reads a little bit better. It's like treating CMD as a dynamic array just solves so many problems that Nobuild held. It's insane. Kind of a similar situation. So here we're checking whether we have any command line arguments. We're just extracting the name builds. That's a lot of bullshit in here. That's a lot of bullshit. So we'll have to clean it up. We'll have to clean it up, so let's fucking go. All right, so what do we have in here? Pid weight. So first of all, it uses this shift arg thing, which is kind of an old way of doing things in Nob. So these days, you're supposed to just use shift. Just use shift. There's not that much difference between them, except that argv comes first and argc comes in the second. And the reason why I did it like that is because I want the shift to be usable not only for command line arguments, but for any sized arrays, if you know what I mean. For any sized arrays. So essentially, maybe I can show you this entire thing. I'm going to include Nob.h, and obviously I want to do define Nob implementation. And strip prefixes, and then we're gonna do main. We can actually automatically rebuild this entire thing, why not? So we can do nob go rebuild yourself technology, argv. So the way you usually use shifts, right? The way you usually use shifts is that while argc is greater than 0, what we're gonna be doing, nob log info shift argv argc. And there you go. So if I try to now rebuild the whole thing, so foo c, is it gonna build? Okay, so I'm gonna just run it, and I'm gonna provide some arguments, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you can see, it basically pops them out from the left. I used to define this macro so it can only work with strings, but then I realized it could be just generic. I could maybe just have an array that looks something like this, right? So I have a bunch of parameters in here, maybe 69, 420, 137 or whatnot, right? So then I have some sort of like a pointer to this entire thing, which is going to be basically access, and then I can have the amount of these things, which is going to be array length of access, and I can kind of do the same thing for that, right? So I can have pointer n, and I can simply log that. So, and it works with the numbers as well, right? So shift can basically work with any sized array where you have a pointer to the array and then the size of the array. So you can actually pop things from the left by modifying the pointer and n automatically with this macro. Yeah, so something like that. You can actually like pop characters from this string view or whatnot. So it's more generic. And the fun thing about the shift macro, is how freaking simple it is. This is the entirety of implementation, like one single line, 3 expressions, and assert for, buffer overflow and stuff like that. Decrement the count and increment the pointer, and that's it. But you just also return the first argument in here. It's actually freaking insane how simple it is, yet it's so goddamn powerful. I love it. I keep talking about this macro over and over again. At some point, I kind of feel like I want to create like an entire YouTube video about this macro because I have a lot of things to say about it. So, so yeah. Anyways, I don't know why I can yap about simplest, dumbest thing for so long. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense if they are, impactful. Right. So when you have something simple but very fucking impactful, it is always fascinating. It is always fascinating. So not gonna lie, YouTube series just explaining all the macros you've made over the years would be banger. I think it would, right? So honestly, there is a lot of knowledge accumulated in Nob.h that I collected over the years of streaming and stuff like that. Usually if I just discover some interesting piece of knowledge I created as a function or as a macro in Nob, and just like looking at some of these things in the video would be interesting. Yeah, you're right. We'll see. Or some stuff that I discovered in STB libraries, for instance, right? So I can make an entire video about a header trick in dynamic arrays and hashes in STBDS, where you have a pointer to the hash, to the container, but then behind that pointer there is a little bit of a meta information, right? So, and it's kind of a well-known trick among system developers, but I mean, it's not really that well-known to general public. So having some sort of video about that would be actually kind of cool, and demonstrating how to use that. Yeah, like a Delphi strings. Yeah, like a Delphi strings. Because Delphi strings, as far as I know, so Delphi strings are literally an array of 256 characters, so like this. But you actually point at the first character, right? So because in a 0th character, you store a length of that string. So they're pretty short strings, right? It is true. They're pretty short. But at the same time, 256 is this, right? So, and Pascal is rather old language, so it comes from the times of DOS and, yeah, like 80s and 90s. And for those times, having 256 characters for a string, I think is more than enough, right? So I think it's not going to even fit into the screen, right? So it's a plenty. It's a plenty for those times. So it kind of worked out. And honestly, it is plenty even for today, right? So if you're just operating on a lot of small strings, in C, nobody freaking stops you to do something like this, right? And the cool advantage of this particular structure is that you pass it by a value, right? If you pass it around like print p string, it passes it as a whole, as a value, and you don't have to like worry about just having a pointer and null, like a null termination or anything like that. You just have the whole thing in there. All right, so I think it's kind of cool. You can even do something like this as well. So I think it's pretty cool. So nobody stops you to program like in Pascal, but in C. Does it copy the whole thing? Well, semantically it does. In reality, the compiler will just try its best to make it as optimal as possible. Okay, so here's the shift. We're shifting the name, and so here's the demo, right? And if you provided some argument, we're gonna treat that specific argument as basically the name of the demo that you want to run. So that's basically what it is. What's interesting is that I feel like this particular code is a little bit too nested for my liking. Don't you guys think? It's kind of a little bit too nested. So maybe what we have to do is grab this whole thing, and if the args is less or equal, we just do build all VC demo, right? So we probably have to provide is the CMD and procs. We provide the procs, And then we just exit out of this entire thing. Yeah, so we just exit. We can do something like that. If it failed, obviously we exit with that, but if it didn't, we just exit with 0 successfully. And thus we can actually kind of unnest this entire thing and make it a little bit easier to read. Readability is subjective, but anyway, if it's just like sequential, at least it makes it easier to read from top to bottom. So if your code is very nested, you can read it from left to right, but sometimes it is easier to read it from top to bottom. It depends on how you like to read things. So, and kind of a similar situation is in here too. So you provided a name, and if you provided additional things, we treat them as the platforms that you want to build them for. If you didn't provide any of these things, we just build them, I suppose, for all of the platforms. Very interesting. So we just build it like this, and then we copy it. Didn't we already copy the wasm in build.vc demo? Ah, I see. We only copy it when we build everything. That makes sense. We only copy it when we build everything. Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. So we can try to unnest this entire thing as well. Right, so if this thing becomes less or equal than 0, what we have to do this specific thing. Right, we're doing this specific thing like so. We don't have to allocate peds because we already allocated it. So this is procs. Build vc demo accepts cmd, pointed to the cmd, procs. It may not fail, right? So because it will just append things into the procs, and then we have to do procs wait and reset. So procs. This one may fail. This one may fail, and we have to return something like this. Now we have to do the copy. I think I can just like literally yoink this code and put it in here, like so. And after that, let's not forget to put 1 in here. We just return 0, indicating everything is nice. All right, so that's pretty cool. So you provided subcommand demos. Okay, that's totally fine. You didn't provide anything, we just build all of the demos. You did provide something, we interpret that as a name. If you didn't provide anything after that, we just build all of the kinds of demos for that specific name. If you did provide something after that, we treat it as a platform for which specifically you want to build this entire thing. All right, so that also makes sense. So we are slowly but steadily simplifying the code, and I really kind of like that. Right, so it was a little bit of a mess, so now we are nesting it, and yeah, I think it becomes better. So if you look at your old code and it feels worse to you than what you would write today, that means you are improving, right? That means you're improving. So I'm looking at this code, it's kind of fucking cringe, I'm fixing it, so that means I improved as a software developer. I'm really happy about myself. So another thing, so this is another shift situation. The shift situation is crazy. X situation is crazy. Why the fuck this clickbait works? I have no idea why it works. And what's interesting is that everybody knows that it's like overused and it still somehow works. It's insane. It's just like almost we reached such a level of meta on YouTube that people know that they're being clickbaited and they fucking love it. It's almost like they haven't sort of like a kink on being clickbaited. It's just like it's a big cringe, yeah, probably. I think we trained a huge brains are fried. Exactly, brains are fried. I think we like literally trained like a Pavlov's dog style, a huge population of people to fucking enjoy that. How? Anyway, so celebration over cringe LMAU, exactly. Well, I mean, cringe is kind of entertaining in a sense, right? So, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right, so here we're trying to build SDL a demo. So, and in here we have to provide both CMD, and the procs, right? So something like point. So we just append this entire shit in here. It may not fail. It returns void. Okay, so we're just building this entire thing. after that, if we provided anything else, wait, why don't you, oh, it instantly waits for this entire thing. Okay, so that explains it. So we just do that, and then we have to wait. So we build and wait, and also reset. So if after SDL you provided something else, we're gonna interpret it as a command to run. This is a very sophisticated command line interface for a build system. Look at that. So you provide subcommand demos, right? Then you can provide the name of the demo, then the platform for which you want to build the demo, SDL, WASM, you name it, and then you can provide an action whether to then run it or not. Some platforms don't have run like WASM, so that subcommand is not going to work for that. It's a whole freaking sub-language. So it's a whole freaking sub-language. But anyway, we can unnest this entire shit even further. So what we expect in here, if we didn't have any arguments after the platform, which is SDL, I suppose what we have to do, we have to just return 0, right? Something like this. Then we expect the command in here. So this is going to be argv, then argc. And if it is in fact equal to run, in fact, I'm not quite sure why are we wasting an entire name for this entire thing if we can just inline it. Look at that, we just fucking inline it. And then if it wasn't that, we're panicking. In the old version of nobuild, there was a panic function. We got some subs. Thank you so much. I forgot to acknowledge a lot of subs. Thank you so much, Bentao Def for Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Machine 0094 for tier 1 and Seg6. Thank you so much for tier 1. Really appreciate it. Segs Fugs. Haha, funny. So what we have to do in here, we have to probably do a log, nob log. But what kind of nob levels we have? I saw nob info. So we have nob error, no logs. It's a very interesting level, actually. If you provide that, it is actually going to ignore. It is going to ignore this entire thing, which is kind of funny. So it is meant to be used with nob minimal log level. You can disable all of the logging if you just set it to minimal no logs, which is higher than any level, which will suppress all of the logs, right? Sometimes it's kind of annoying. You don't want to log anything. You can just suppress it and then unsuppress it. So, and there's like a global variable to do that. No logs, no logs. So that's what it is. So here it's, I suppose, nob error. I can just say error. All right. So, and after that, we have to actually exit with this kind of thing. Cool. So in here, we need to do temp s printf. Again, this is going to be $s name. I'm losing voice, chat. Chat, I'm losing voice. CMD append. All right. So then I need to run synchronously, like so. Boom. Who needs autocomplete if you can just keep copy pasting the code? Right. So autocomplete is needed for only people with skill issue who don't know how to fucking copy paste. See, like, look how efficiently I just type the code. I just find the chunk and just copy paste. You don't need autocomplete. You don't need autocomplete. For real, exactly. So here we do kind of a similar thing. But this time we're actually building it for the terminal. So I need to rebuild SDL with the terminal. Again, you see how efficiently I just copy pasted a chunk of code. Just like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. And in fact, I can copy paste it one more time. I keep doing, I keep getting away with that. I keep getting away with just copy pasting code. Look at that. I copy pasted it again. I copy pasted it again. So, right, but then I have to fix up the SDL stuff. I need to query replace SDL with term. And this one was actually terminal. And that's about it, right? So now I can just remove the whole thing in here. And one thing I think I forgot in here is just to return 0 as we finished the whole thing. All right, so that's pretty cool. So obviously I would like to maybe try to build the whole thing because I'm not sure if it compiles even. So what is it complaining about? So that's why you don't copy paste. Because yeah, this has to be a name. Okay, so it's fine. It's fine, chat. It's fine. It's very easy to actually find. That's why we had a separate name for run, because I was using it. Okay. Okay, let's bring it back. That's why you don't copy paste, chat. Chat, don't copy paste. Don't repeat my mistakes, chat. Chat, don't repeat my. Okay. So we also have to do a similar thing in here. So this one is going to be run const char run. I'm going to put it in here. Do not copy paste. Do not believe Zozin. Okay, so this is a similar thing. I can copy paste this one. Fuck old Zozin. I can copy paste this thing. I'm gonna do term, but this time it's gonna be wasm. There we go. One more time. One more time. Okay, so copy file, which means that I can copy paste it again. I can copy paste it again. But chat, this time it's going to work. Trust me, it's going to work. I learned from my mistakes. I know what not to do. Okay, so this is another panic. A nob log error, nob log error, and then return 1. Okay, so this one is good. And this one, nob log error, return 1. And all of these things, I suppose they all accept CMD. So CMD, this one accepts CMD, this one accepts procs and CMD, and all of them may fail. All of them may fail. Boom, return 1. So this one, it complains about something, I'm not sure, because CMD goes first. Statically typed languages. Can your JavaScript do that? And we finished porting. This is the beauty of compiler-assisted refactoring. You don't even need LLM to port one thing to another one. You just follow compilation errors, you just fix them up, and there you go. You've got a working new build system that just works like the previous one. Damn, it worked first try. I didn't expect it to work first try. I was hoping for a comedic effect of it failing completely or sec faulting. Like, I was really hoping that it's gonna sec fault, because that would be funny, but it didn't sec fault. Okay. Compiler-assisted refactoring is too OP. Yeah, it is. And by the way, LLMs quite often take advantage of that as well, right? So because there is a common pattern is that you just throw some code, it doesn't compile, you feed that code and compilation error back into LLM, and LLM tries to patch up. So you can kind of even automate that with LLMs. You can kind of automate all of that with LLMs. Funny enough, there is a grabber darker that has Sodian emoji as a thumbnail. So for some, there is a Sodian theme extension visuals code. Yes, code. For real. Well, I mean, the comments are off. The comments are not orange. Bro, what the fuck? Wait, are they? Or am I? Okay, so they're too bright, honestly. Yeah, so they're too bright. They are orange, but they're too bright. So that's what actually kind of confusing. I think they're too bright for the Groover Docker. They have to be a little bit less saturated, I would say. I think they're less saturated. By the way, I'm not affiliated with this thing. I didn't create it. I don't even use Visual Studio Code. But I mean, I approve of that. And I wouldn't call it my theme because I didn't create it, right? So I didn't come up with this palette. So in my thing, in my repo, Grubber Darky theme, I actually credited the original creator of this theme. It's Jason Blevins. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. And so the original page for that, I wonder if it still exists. It feels like maybe it doesn't. Yeah, it's been so long ago. Jason Blavis kind of removed it already. But I mean, he came up with this palette based on Gruber Dark. Okay, so which, as far as I know, was created by the creator of Markdown. So, because the website, daringfireball.net, I think this is a website of the creator of Markdown. Right, so it's kind of based on a theme created by the creator of Markdown, but it's darker. It's darker than that. Yeah, so it's daringfireball.net. So that's basically the lore behind it, the theme. So in Helix in action. Okay, so this is a Gruber Darky, but in Helix. All right, so looks pretty cool. You guys really like this theme? Nice. I also kind of like it. That's why I use it for so long. Man, I developed it so long. I was into functional programming languages back then. So this is Clojure. Right, so it's a piece of code from Clojure. So anyways, I think I need to maybe give the link to this theme to people in the chat. All right, so, and also I'm going to put that in the description as a reference. And for this theme, I guess I'm going to put it in here as well. But again, I'm not associated with the creator of that specific theme in here. So, pretty cool. So this entire thing just worked. This entire thing just worked. This entire thing just worked. So the thing we want to do now, chat. We want to try to make these things global. Just like literally global. Something like this. Maybe even thread local. Let's just make them thread local, like this. First of all, let's try to compile them and see if that will compile. Right, because sometimes, okay, so unknown type, yeah. So because it's not available in all versions of C, you have to do like C11 or something. Yeah. And if you use C11, there's some, there's a lot of stuff that happened, right? So it probably went into mode of standard compliant compilation where there's no this POSIX extension and stuff like that. So we're probably not going to be, and it still doesn't know thread local. Do I have to include thread local somewhere? So std GNU 11, really? Really? Well, we can do GNU, but I mean, I don't want to depend on GNU. Right, especially considering that I expect this now. So I probably have to include threads. Yeah, look at that. Include threads.h. What about just C11? GNU 11. So that's definitely no-go right away. That's definitely no-go. We're not going to be doing it right now. And we don't use any threads anyway, so it doesn't really matter for us. To be fair, now I need to do the thing where I need to get rid of all of these things, all of the arguments. Maybe one thing I can do, I'm going to query replace this with nothing. So I'm going to just remove every parameter that accepts CMD as a pointer. So that's what I'm going to be doing, right? Like this. The same thing I want to do with procs. So procs, boom, 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 boom. So that left really weird artifacts in here. So maybe what I'm going to do, I'm just going to find these artifacts and replace them with nothing. So it also left this kind of weird artifact. So let's query replace that with also nothing. Wow, that's dangerous. Maybe I can query replace this stuff with just this. Okay, there's only one instance of this kind of stuff. So that also created these weird artifacts. When function doesn't accept any arguments, it is recommended to actually mark it as void, at least in pure C. Right. In C++, it doesn't matter, but in C, it's kind of recommended to do that. At least in older versions of C, I think in newer versions of C, it also doesn't matter. The reason being is that if function doesn't accept any arguments and it doesn't have anything in parentheses, it's considered to be variadic function. Did you guys know that? So I'm gonna show you something. Welcome to C. But now, if I put void in here, it's not gonna compile. Good old C, good old C. I keep saying that over and over again. C is extremely simple language, but you can learn it for the entirety of your life, and it's always gonna be something new. You always discover some new shit. Like, why? It is simple language. Like where is it all fucking coming from? How do you use variadic parameters? I have no idea. This is a very good question. Let's find out. So, usually the way you use variadic arguments, right? So you do something like, first of all, you need std_args, right? std_arg.h. Then you have to do va list args, right? That's the first thing. And you need to do va, I think, start. But the thing is that if you do va start, you need to provide the argument from which it starts. So we can try to find maybe some documentation about va start. So just access the stack directly, okay. So, but that would be actually pretty based move, not gonna lie, not gonna lie. Okay, so va start macro enables access to the variable argument following the named argument param n until C23. V-start shall be invoked with an instance of a valid va list object AP before any call to va arg. So if parameter is declared with register storage class specifier with array type, with a function type, or with a type not compatible with the type that results from default argument, the behavior is undefined. Okay, we don't care. So on the first argument, okay. So you kind of, there's no, but it's C23. But maybe you can do something like that. Requires two arguments. Requires two arguments. Okay, start volatile as rocks, but I mean it's not a variable. It's not a variable. Null. Let's provide null. So we start used in a function with the fixed arguments. Fixed arguments. This one is interesting. C function with fixed arguments. Function with some. Everyone was writing machine code in hex. I'm now curious. Okay, function C variadic function no arguments. Variadic function with no arguments. It's a C++ though. So it accepts just for compatibility and future usages. So that's why. So you can't really access that, but then in the future, if you modify it, so variadic max function without providing number. But yeah, so even if you could, there's no really way for you to know where is end unless you use null termination. It's time for disassemble. I'm pretty sure disassembly is just not going to do anything. If you don't use variadic arguments, they're probably going to be optimized out or something. So I don't think it matters that much. So yeah, it just like allows you to accept that, but I mean, it's weird. C is weird. But anyways, so we broke this entire thing. Now I want to go to the compilation errors and fix all of that. Holy shit. Can your C++ with its template errors do that? I don't fucking think so. All right, so let's actually go through Ah, I know what is going on. I know. Because now we have to pass it as a pointer. We have to pass it as a pointer, and we do this kind of stuff like very frequently throughout the code base. All right, so we have to query replace that with just that. Can your LLM do that? Okay, so we fixed thousands of compilation errors with a single replace. Easy. 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 So, yeah, we can kind of also replace this kind of stuff with that. Boom. Next one, please. All right, so go to the stack. The append procs, kind of a similar situation. Boom, 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 boom. Next one, please. All right, so can we replace that, boom, boom. Next one, please. All right, so here, oh yeah, so we can probably, ooh, now we don't even have to pass anything in here. That's so fucking cool, bro. Yeah, so now it is like that. Huh. Now it is like that. Alrighty. Yeah, so can I basically grab this stuff and just replace it with nothing? Oh, I mean, it was in only single instance. This is not a point anymore. What else? Don't have to pass that. So, well, I mean, I have to pass it by the point, I'm sorry. Query replace. Boom, boom, boom. What's this one? So I'm thinking I can probably query replace that with just that. Boom, boom, boom. This one, yeah, this one is not needed to be like this. I think we're almost there. So how many compilation errors we have? Only 100. But I mean, it's not 100 errors, it's just 100 lines of the errors. And they're a little bit inflated because of the stacks of the macros and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of inflation going on in here, so it doesn't really matter that much. So I'm going to query replace that and get rid of all of that. Boom, boom. And right away, I can probably simplify that. Let's fucking go. What else do we have in here? So I'm thinking this kind of stuff could be also quite easily replaced with, that's a lot of places where we had to do that, and it fully compiles. So we're fully using global variables now, and I think it's kind of cool. So let's actually see if it compiles. It still compiles. Look at that. Look at that, chat. Look at that, chat. So everything seems to be working. Everything seems to be working. So can I just run some tests? So can I run tests or like I have a test suite and shit. Right, so it builds test.c into build test. Let me see what test.c does. Okay, so test.c has its own pie. That's already something. It uses return defer unused and bro, we have all of that shit in Nob. Just use Nob, bruv-ski. Yo, I can now continue like removing code from other tools. It uses Arena and shit like that. Yeah, so it's not needed anymore. That's so fucking cool. So it's gonna be define Nob implementation, and I'm gonna also define Nob strip prefix. So, and we can just try to compile tests one more time. So the colliding names are gonna actually, yeah, so as you can see, names are colliding. So, and in here, well, this is not what I expected to collide, but okay. What else do we have in here? Oh, we're building with C11, scheisse. And that enables this weird mode where ISO is C99, blah, 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 doesn't... Fuck you, Nob. Why would you do that to me? Can we just like remove this stupid std C11? I hate C11, bro. I hate C11, doesn't work with my Nob. It doesn't work with my Nob. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Nob.c, build test. Okay, let's go into this function. Can we Oh, it's in the common flags. I see. It is in common flag. Can we get rid of this thing? Can we get rid of these things? But first, I would like to maybe discard all of the changes in test just to see if everything works correctly more or less. Let's just do Nob. Everything is building more or less. I'm super happy. And now I can do tests. We don't need that stupid C11. Chat. Can you believe that? I was using C11, but we didn't fucking need that. Add GNU source to flags, but I mean, I want it to be cross-platform more or less, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't even compile on Windows, but I still want to be cross-platform. I literally want to be cross-platform. Not cross-platform, but want to be cross-platform. Anyway, so... so I need to save it one more time, maybe. Emacs, stupid Emacs. Stop asking question, Emacs. Okay, so I'm gonna try to build this thing and it fails. Okay, cool. We don't need return defer because we have it in Nob. We don't need unused because we have it in Nob. Do we need implementation? Okay, so I think instead of unimplemented in Nob.h, we have something like to do. Yeah. What I want to do, let's do query replace unimplemented and it's not even used. Anyways, you don't need unreachable because it's implemented in Nob. Okay, so what else do we have in here? Shift macro. All right, but this shift macro is rather interesting. Is that the order of arguments is kind of fucked up. So let's actually find how it is used. So there is this weird case with 2 spaces. Let me quickly fix that because otherwise I won't be able to mass replace this stuff. All right, so I'm going to put that in here, remove the ampersands and swap them around. Boom, 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 boom. Shift, remove that shit. Cool. And compile. It compiles. So we just like replaced some of the names with the Nob. Right. So can I run this entire stuff? Okay. It would be kind of cool to also maybe run them in separate threads, because as you can see, it just runs them sequentially. So that might be slow. Yeah. And if I remember correctly, by the way, the test cases are rather based. So here's the macro defined test case. So where is it defined? Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So we have a test dir path, and we have paths to expected image and actual image and so on and so forth. So the test path is this. So here's the test folder, and we have a bunch of things in here. So, and these are just literally images. We have functions that generate those images. We have functions that generate these images. Some of them are not particularly visible, but what we do, we run the functions that generate those images, and we compare them to expected ones. And if there is a difference on the level of pixels, the test will fail, right? So this is how we test. So it's actually kind of cool. And as far as I know, if you change the behavior of the library, you can re-record them. So it's a record-based stuff. And if it fails, it will try to compute a diff. It will try to compute a diff and show you what exactly changed. So let's actually maybe find some interesting stuff. For example, there was some, what is it called? Circles. So yeah, I kind of like this one. Let's find this example in here. So I suppose it's just called circle, right? Is it not? Oh, I didn't see it. Circle. But there should be define test case. It's fill circle. Okay, so it is called fill circle. So here it is. But at the same time, there are several of them. So circle example. So fill circle is this, but I didn't see circle. So there should be then test circle. Okay, here it is. And for example, in here, we're using a very specific radius, right? So in the radius is just like this. What we can do we can just introduce a bug in there. We can just add 1 pixel in there, right? We just add 1 pixel, and obviously the end result is going to differ from what is expected. So let's try to run the tests. And it didn't fail. Maybe, what if we add more? Okay. So add 4 to the radius. So, okay, circle. That is unexpected. So it actually ran it. And so there should be some tests. I don't really know where it puts them or anything. If the cell height is greater than radius, there is a sum. I hate when the test pass one expect them to break. Exactly. That's a fucking classic. That's a fucking classic. I'm not quite sure, but we can change the color maybe. So there's definitely something we can. So there's this thing. We can maybe add to the radius in here, because obviously it is being clamped. It is being clamped. Maybe that's the problem in here. Yeah, finally it failed. Okay, so the problem was that it was clamped by this thing, and now we actually bypassing that clamp. So what it does, it tells you that it failed. And here is the expected one. You can open expected one, and then here's the actual one. And you can't see any fucking difference. You literally can't see any fucking difference. We generated diff for you. And the pixels that differ, they're colored with purple. So this is the test framework that we have in here. So, so this is how it works. So you can basically test on the level of each individual pixels if something goes wrong and everything. It just generates all of that stuff for you. So I haven't worked with this library for quite some time. You can actually tell I'm still using like outdated build system, but the whole setup in here is actually kind of cool. I'm super proud of it. Yeah, I'm super proud of it. So maybe the time has come to maybe commit all of this stuff, right? So let me get rid of the foo. So here's the nob. I think we need to git ignore the nob. So here we git ignoring nobuild. Let's do nob. And nob.old. Maybe we can compress these 2 files by just ignoring old. So that's pretty cool. So this is ignored. But we also have to remove nobuild. Like, we don't need this kind of stuff anymore. There we go. It got removed. It got replaced. So in a README, do we mention nobuild? Okay. So build and test, build the test and demos. Even though the library does not require any special building, the tests and demos do. We use nobuild build system. Okay, so let's actually replace this with nob, and a reference is going to be to nob.h. So you're supposed to just bootstrap it like this. Well, in this specific case, I think we can just go ahead and mass query replace nobuild with just nob, and it's going to be fine. It's not going to be that much different. Okay, and we don't mention nob anywhere in here. Okay, so there's no heavy mentioning of nobuild. We can try to grep nobuild, and where do we mention it? It's mentioned in gitignore, and it's mentioned in nob.h as a reference to, you know, to the previous version, right? So that makes sense. Okay, so we completely got rid of nobuild, and it is now using nob. So some of the wasm binaries got modified, but I don't think I'm going to be committing them because they are different because of the different version of Clang they're compiled with, right? So maybe Clang just applied different optimizations or just different metadata or something like that. But from the point of view of behavior, I don't think they changed. So I think I'm going to discard all of these changes, right? I literally compile these artifacts because they are automatically deployed into GitHub pages, right? It's kind of convenient because you can basically go to the repo and then to the GitHub pages, and here is the demo of all of the examples in here, right? By the way, there's native versions for each individual example in here. So for example, squish. So we already built them. I can do build, demo, squish, SDL, right? So there's a SDL version of that. So this is outside of the browser. So this is inside of browser with WASM and stuff like that. This is with SDL. So, and it's literally the same code, it's just compiled for a different platform. So this one compiled for x86-64, this was for WASM32. Maybe we should compile it for WASM64, by the way, right? So since it becomes a hot new thing. And furthermore, so let's actually take a look if the terminal version still works, right? So there's also a terminal version. You can do demo, squish terminal version. Oh yeah, it works, look at that. So this is in the terminal. Right, so this is terminal. So just like, but it doesn't use Sixel, right? It doesn't use Sixel. I'm not even sure if ST supports Sixels. I think it doesn't. It's a very simplistic terminal. So loot, yeah, it does look censored. Holy shit! I didn't think about that. God damn, it's so goddamn lewd. It's just like. What is he doing? What is he doing that they had to censor that? Holy shit. So you can go hover vertex for terminal graphics. Yeah, you could. It's like kind of similar to the Panger art. So we have a command called Panger. Kind of similar to that. Maybe we should do a stream for browser, but I already did like a Braille graphics stream like at least 2 times. But I'm not sure if any of them are documented on YouTube, by the way. Right, I did a Braille generator for my bot twice, first for Haskell and then for Go. But I don't think I actually recorded that, so it kind of lost to history. So maybe I should do a stream where I like do that again, but in C, right? Because it's not that hard, it's actually kind of fun. Yeah. So there's also, the cool example is Utah Teapot. So we can do Teapot 3D terminal. Yeah, here it is. It's actually rather fast. It's surprising how fast it is. Teapot. Teapot in the terminal. The same code, just runs in here and in terminal. Okay, guys. So the time has come to do a committee, and maybe even push. Nobuild. Nob. Wait a second. Do we have any GitHub CI? Did we just almost break the build? Oh, at least it's not Friday, okay. Ah, we don't have it, okay, so that's fine. We don't have CI. That's fine, okay. So, no build. You can't break the build if you don't have one. Okay, so I'm gonna be pushing that. So that's pretty cool. Damn, we're already streaming for 2 hours. What the fuck? Didn't even make a small break. Get fucking damn it, mate. Oh, I have so many pull requests. Damn, I should actually look at it. I'm so sorry. I feel so fucking bad that I just don't have resources to look into the pull request. I receive a lot of them all the time, and this is because I have a lot of projects, and it's just like. I didn't even know what to do with them, man. Man, I don't even know what to do with them. I'm a bad open source maintainer. So Hackpads, thank you so much for tier 1. Thank you. But again, I just don't have resources to do that. And for example, my excuse is that even SQLite developers don't accept any contributions. So I'm just like SQLite developer, just like on my own. Sigma developer. This should be a thing, by the way, maybe like a Sigma open source developer. Like the code is open, but they develop everything alone and don't accept contributions. Sigma open source developer. I don't have resources. Fucks to Sigma balls. Sigma balls set. DF10, thank you so much with the message. That's the power move. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm still dream of moving all of my projects to like a self-hosted server, which is only accessible via Git over HTTP, over dumb HTTP with Nginx, and that's it. So you can Git clone it, but you can't easily accept patches or pull requests or anything like that. You can still send them maybe through Discord or through email, but you have to format patches properly. That introduces like a layer of gatekeeping on top. So only people who know how to format patches can send them. Right, so this is kind of a cool idea. So the problem with GitHub is just like it makes it too goddamn fucking easy to send bullshit contributions through its web interface. Right, so because you can just like edit files and it will automatically generate pull requests for you. So because of that, people who are not even who don't even know how to use Git or even program can just like spam you with PRs and stuff like that. So some layer of kind of this kind of gatekeeping would be nice, I think. I think it would be kind of nice. Git over Gemini. Git can work over SSH, for instance, which is better than Gemini, honestly. Gemini is like a simplified HTTP or overcomplicated Gopher over TLS, and SSH is already kind of over TLS. But to be fair, I don't really know how to make SSH, Git SSH read-only, right? I don't really know how to do that. So, well, I mean, I could spend some time doing that, but I mean, it's just don't want to spend time. And shut up, I'm tired. My brain can't easily switch language, like, I'm just tired, right? So my brain doesn't know which language it has to speak. Because for those who doesn't know, in Russian, how is kak. Right. And I just confuse them because I speak two languages in my brain, okay? Shut up. Bang it. Send DeFi mail, yeah. We actually had contributions submitted as diffs to Discord, right? So people like on our Discord server just submitted contributions, just like attached diff, and I applied it and I pushed it. I really like this workflow, honestly. I kind of like it. It's kind of based. Git over UDP, you get the source code sometimes. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. So, yeah. Should we rate somebody? Do we have any based recreational programmers streaming right now, chat? Any based, absolutely fucking based recreational programmers? So Zorkenhammer is streaming. I can see my old friend Zorkenhammer. Are we gonna rate him? We're gonna fucking rate him. So he's probably doing 6502, or I didn't see what he's doing. Valigo, we should probably rate Valigo, but I know we rated him several times already, so I kind of want to rate somebody else. We'll rate him next time. So Zorkenheimer, so he's a low-level Cabal developer, so say hi to him from me. Get ready for the rates, and I see you all next time. I love you all. Mwah.